Well, I want to tell you a story that I told when I very first. Oh, and I see some other kids over there. There we go. Roy and Mateus, I see you. This was a story that I told when we very first came to the Spring Hill and Brooksville churches. And that was almost 3 years ago now. And I began to realize that you guys weren't even there at that time. So, anyway, I want to tell you a story about something that ties in a little bit to what Uncle Dave talks about, and that is birds. So, I had some friends that were always watching birds, in the window. They had their little bird feeders and everything. And so I thought, I want to get myself a bird feeder and I want to get the most special bird feeder there is. Oh, I see some more kids. Yay. So I went out and look what I got for a bird feeder. Can you see this? Can you see this at all? Isn't this a beautiful bird feeder? It was pretty special and I was pretty excited. And I went and I put my bird feeder up. And guess what happened? The first person that visited me was a bird? No, the first visitor I had was a
Yeah.
squirrel. And I was so discouraged. And I said, oh no. So my friends told me, you have to grease the pole. So I put grease on the pole where my bird feeder was. And who do you think made it up there?
Yep,
A
squirrel.
squirrel. So I went and shook that pole, and all I ended up with was greasy hands with bird seed stuck all over it. So I didn't like that. And so then I talked to somebody else, and they said, you got to move it away from trees. And so I tried to move it as much as I could. And then the squirrel jumped onto my window to get to the bird feeder. And you know how sometimes if you go to a museum, you can see the bees, like the other side of the bees, and you look at that was like me with a squirrel. I knew everything about the underbelly of a squirrel. And then he would jump over. So I went for a walk and I saw my neighbors who were the king and queen of birds. And they said a bird feeder in Florida must be 4 feet from every other tree or anything, building tree. Well, I wanted to look out my office window and I couldn't do that. And I thought, what am I going to do? So my neighbors said, oh, you must get a squirrel proof bird feeder. So that is what I did. And I want to show you now what happened.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Finally. All right. So here is my special squirrel proof bird feeder. And the trick to it is there are two baskets inside each other so that when the nice light little bird lands on one of the perches, the bird is so light. You see that little perch? That it will not have enough weight to pull the outside basket down. So it leaves a little opening where it can get the bird seed. But with the squirrel is so heavy that the squirrel will take the basket down and it will be blocked. So you see, I have a nice little tufted titmouse on here, and this little guy is enjoying the food. Oh, here's his friend. And I was so happy that I finally solved the problem. And so now I have two little birdies on here and they're just enjoying it. You see, they're nice and light. I wonder why that guy just flew away. I don't know. But anyway, so this guy's still enjoying it. These little guys will actually take the bird seed out of your hand if you put your hand out. So see, he's nice and light and he's not pulling. Can you see how there's two baskets? I'm trying to do a little close up. One basket is inside the other basket and he's just pecking away and enjoying himself. And I was so, so happy that I could finally see birds and not have to worry about squirrels anymore. Well, let's see this guy. Wow, he's just having a big meal, isn't he? When you look at how big he is compared to how much food he's eating, wow, he's probably eating hey, wait a minute. Where did he come from? But he's not gonna. His weight there. His weight is pulling down the perch. Hey, wait a minute. How did that bird do it? I know it's in there. I'm trying to sniff around. Wait a minute, but he can't figure it out. Ha ha, we have a squirrel proof. So we're tricking him. Look at him. He's saying, but I know it's in there somewhere. It's not fair. The other guys got it out. I was so happy. I was like, you are never going to figure it out. And I had to pay a lot for that bird feeder, and it was worth it. Oh my, that's fine. If he wants to eat the leftovers off the ground, I don't have a problem with that, because that means my birds can still get what they need. So I was totally fine with that. Oh, look at, isn't this beautiful? We have a cardinal on the bird feeder now. He's really enjoying.
Oh, a cardinal.
Yeah, here's a cardinal. And you know, I'm telling you this story because the Bible talks about never giving up. I hope some of you kids don't give up when things get hard, because you're going to find something out about our friend the squirrel. And sometimes there's lessons in nature, and you're going to find something out about never, ever giving up. And do you see somebody's nose at the side? Hey, you, what does he think he's doing on there? So he's going to try it again. Remember, you never, ever give up. He could have said it's impossible. See his feet on the perches? That's what it's designed for. So there's too much weight. He can't get in. He could have said, hey, I can't get in, so I'm going to totally give up, and I'm just going to go home and cry and tell my mother she has to get the food because it's too hard for me. Maybe some of with your online schooling, you're thinking it's too hard. Oh, look at this one. Did you know that the females sometimes in nature are the ones that aren't so flashy and brilliant? Isn't that interesting? So here's our female cardinal, and she's getting on there. We had our beautiful red male cardinal, right? So I was, you know, again, I was like, okay, I do not have to worry about the squirrel again. He's tried it once, tried it twice. Oh, here's somebody else now. Oh, the tufted titmice are coming back. They're in the chickadee family. See how nice and light they are. They're a beautiful little bird. So now I could think that squirrel's tried it once, that squirrel's tried it twice. He sees that it is totally, what is he doing now? Now he's on his third pass saying there has to be a way to do this. But you see again, his feet, now he's trying to not have his feet on there almost. It looks like he's catching on a little bit, but then he was on the trail, but now he's like, no, he's not quite there yet. But this is a creature who refuses to take no for an answer. Now, sometimes that's not the best thing for kids, not to take no for an answer. But if we have a problem and a challenge or something that we need to solve, okay, now he's got it. Look what he's doing. Do you notice he's keeping his body on the pole? And by doing that, he's not pressing the perch down so much. This guy has got it. He got a mouthful that time because he kept his body on the pole. Now watch this. Watch this. You see that? He's stretching. Look, he just had his elbow. He's trying to go up and eat in a restaurant with a rooftop view. Have you ever gone to a restaurant with a rooftop view? Now that he got a whole bunch and figured it out, he's like, I'm going to just go up here and enjoy it. So right about that time, I said, oh my, I'm about to give up here. So I put some bark butter on the fence, and I figured if he's taken over my bird feeder, let me just put some bark butter up on the fence here. And so I got 3 nice big patches. It's kind of like peanut butter, but it's special for birds. And I put it on my, hey, wait a minute, who's eating the bark butter now? Well, at least I have 2 more big patches of butter. So at least there'll be something left for the birds, right? Because I love little birds. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, no. He got the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed watching that. And I want to show you a little. Okay. So the Bible tells us I can do all things through him who gives me strength. If ever you are tempted to give up, I want you to remember that squirrel did not give up. And if a squirrel doesn't give up, you shouldn't be giving up either. So if something is hard and you're trying to do what's right, you can always do all things who gives you strength. Okay, let's see if we can do a quick drawing. So we're going to do another share on the whiteboard. I tell you, Do you think that it's easy for me to do these drawings in front of everybody every week on a whiteboard? No, it is not. And do you think that I just get on here and the first time right away I can draw these things? No, I cannot. I have to practice and practice, sometimes 4, 5, and 6 times. And then I'm even scared that everybody's looking and I don't know what it's going to come out like, and I pray it will come out all right. So it's not always easy. But let's start, boys and girls, by making the ears. We'll start here. I'm going to make the first ear. I'll put it a little furry up at the top. Now, the second ear will not be the exact size of the first ear because it's behind it. So it's kind of a trick of the eye that lets us know when we look at it that the other one is behind it. So you make
Ernestine, Ernestine, come look what she's drawing.
Okay, now we're gonna try to make the head. This is the
look what she's drawing.
Okay, here we go. The head's gonna come down to his little nose and then kind of around and his little mouth. That's kind of the hardest part. And hopefully when we color it all in later, this is gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna go to the back of his head. And then we're gonna go around down here. Now we're gonna make his tail. That's the fun part. That's the part I like the best. And there's 2 parts to the tail, okay? So this one comes circling around kind of fluffy like this. And then you make the other part. That's the easiest part. The head is probably the hardest part. Okay. Now I'm going to make another line here. Okay. You can put his eye in. And we'll color it all in later, of course, and that's when it looks a little better. Okay, we'll make a little, so you can see his fur here. And we're gonna try to make his arm. All right, and that's gonna come up to here with his little hand. All right, now we're gonna come down and around here. Now we're gonna make a little line here and a little bit of fur here. And we're only showing 1 foot. Sometimes when you draw, you're drawing a perspective. This is all you see. In your head, you're thinking, yeah, but he's got more than 1 foot. But your brain fills that in because something is sitting at a particular angle, so you don't see it all. All right, once you have this part, now comes the fun part. And remember, you want to do different kinds of shades, not always the same shade, because that's what makes it look kind of nice. So I like to sometimes, let me just see, and what I do, I find different pictures of squirrels to draw from to get ideas. So I should have another one here. I look at different ones, so I'm going to look at this one for the colors of the squirrel. Okay, so we're going to do kind of just a little bit of the outline of the grayish color here on the tail. Okay. All right. And also you got to think about shadows. So where the body meets the tail, you may have a shadow over here. So you want to make this part a little darker so you can kind of tell about that. And then just have a little fun with some filling in some, oh, I want to make this like this, filling in some brown. You know, sometimes we have in our head, oh, a squirrel's gray, or oh, the grass is green. No, it's about, you take a walk and look at how many different colors of green are in the grass, or how many different colors are really in a squirrel, not just one color. So you want to just kind of put a few colors in there. So you can kind of get your fluffy tail going however you want. Could put a little of this in here, then you could put a little of the gray. Oh, we got to get his eye, and then he'll really start looking a little better. Let's put a little bit of his eye in here. And I'm gonna get my black. It's hard for me to do it on the whiteboard, but if you can leave a tiny, tiny little white. That's the glint of the eye, because our eyes always have a little kind of a glint showing in them. What do I mean by a glint? Just a little area where the light reflects. So just leave a tiny little white circle. It's very hard for me to do it. Oh, I want to make a acorn too. I want to have him holding something. So I'll just make a little triangle and like this. Okay. I hope everybody has been looking at the really beautiful pictures our kids have been making. It's been unbelievable. I've been putting them in the newsletter. I need to put the other ones on the website. I see that Ricky and Dixie just got some new ones that I'm going to put on the website. And Soraya and Sarai and even Mateus did a beautiful job this week. I was so proud and excited when I saw them. All right, I'm going to have to get going with this, but let's just put a little bit more going on here, and then we're going to have to wrap up here. Make him look a little furry. And we're getting close here. All right, give him a little bit of his nose here. That may help him look a little more like a squirrel, I hope. Like I said, it might not be perfect, but remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you try, you do your best, and that's how you learn. And then the next time you might do a little better, a little better. Somebody could look at this and say, oh, I could do better than that. What does she think she is? Well, I'll tell you what I am. I'm somebody who keeps trying and hoping that each time it's a little better, and hoping that people will forgive me if it's not perfect. What about that? I hope you feel that way too. I hope you don't start crying and throw it away if you get discouraged. That would be really sad, because the main point is you're doing your best, and that's all you can do. All right, let's just see. You pray about it, you try, you get new ideas. And that is that. Well, I think I'm getting close. All righty, there we go. There's my crazy squirrel for the day. All right, so I hope you had fun. I'm looking forward to seeing yours, and I'm seeing that a lot of you guys are doing even better than the teacher, so maybe that means I'm a better teacher than I am artist. Who knows? But I'm always very, very excited and happy to get what you send in. Okay? All right, let's see. We have a little time now. So we are going to, let's just see if I can. Oh, so who do you think in the Bible never gave up? Well, let's do our closing song here with somebody that never gave up. He could have given up.
What's that noise?
King Saul, send out your champion to fight me. Let the gods protect you. The Israelites are afraid.
We can't see anything if you're showing a video.
Named David.
You guys can sing.
Only a boy named David, but he could pray. Only a boy named David, only a little boy. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took. And one little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. And one little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. Round and 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 round. And one little stone went up in the air. And the giant came tumbling, and the giant came tumbling, and the giant came tumbling down, came tumbling down. Only a boy named David, only a little slave. Only a boy named David, pray and sing. Only a boy named David, to the good. Only a boy named David, had 5 little stones he took. And one little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. And one little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And one little stone went up in the air, and the child came tumbling, 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 tumbling.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm going to see if I can stop sharing my screen now. Let's just see. Okay. All right. So my screen's no longer sharing, right? Okay. Okay. We are going to have the closing prayer. I thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be pretty soon going to the Florida Conference live service. So Father in heaven, thank you so much for these wonderful children. And we all look forward to seeing their artwork, and help us all to never, ever, ever give up. In Jesus' name, amen.